Assalamu alaikum. In today's lesson we are going to learn the letters Ain and Ghain. We're going to learn several shapes of them. You've got the one that when it's at the beginning of a word looks something like this. This multiplicative move which can come by itself, just like this. We're also going to learn some geometric shapes, some geometric types of them that look like stars, and one that is called the crescent, which looks like something like this. So let's start and see how it will look like. Now for this lesson we have to focus because the letter is a bit tricky to write. So for the first one we are going to do a small summary before we start with it. We've got our baseline right over here. We're going to take a normal T thickness with half T first. We're going to determine a small box right over here that will contain a circle. Looks like this. After that we are going to obtain a second circle and a second box that will have a center line somewhere around here, while this one has a center line somewhere around here. The outer box will have another circle which will generate the shape outside. So in order to achieve this we need to focus on the dimensions we are having here, because after we draw both circles we can color the inside of the gap between the two circles, which will generate the letter Ain for us. So for this we are going to use the 16 millimeters thickness to make it a bit clearer what we are doing. So as we've already discussed, we're going to choose a baseline somewhere around here. Now let's take this to be our starting point of the word. So we are leaving 16 millimeters, which is our full thickness. This is the line where it's located. And the thickness of the baseline is also 16. So we are going to highlight that line, which is around here. As we did for the back, we add half a thickness to this 16, so we have to move 8 from this line right over here and we connect those two. We are not going to connect this one, but we have to locate the circle that we've talked about. So starting from here, the circle here has this line as a tangent and this line as a tangent. So to draw the circle you've got two tangents, one over here and one over here. The diameter equals 1.5 T. So the square we are drawing will have the dimensions of 1.5 T by 1.5 T. Now we are going to locate the square we talked about. As we said, it's 1.5 the thickness, so that would give us 2.4. So right here we're going to draw a 2.4 by 2.4. Now keep in mind that this is the tangent, so you can't take the dimension from it. This will actually end up here, which is nice. So you can now locate the center point of this square by connecting these two together. And you will have the center point, which is right over here. Get your compass and choose the the radius you're going to work with, and draw the circle. Here we go. Now, this is the first circle we've talked about. There's another one that comes on the outside. So we've located the first square with the circle inside of it. Now there's another one that goes t/2 upwards from this square, and to the left it will go the full thickness t. We will have another circle right over here that will give us this shape. Now the other circle, the bigger one, has a diameter of 2.7 t. Therefore, the next square we are going to draw will be 2.7 t by 2.7 t. Meanwhile, the first one, which was right over here, this one was 1.5 by 1.5. That's how we get the this shape. So we come over here, we take half a thickness, which is 8 millimeters. We're working with a 16 millimeters. Had some technical issues. Turned out that the camera wasn't working, wasn't recording. So anyway, as we said, I've taken this line, I went upwards half the thickness from here to here, and taking the full thickness 16 millimeters from this one to here. Now I got these two lines. The length of the square is 2.7 t, which is the diameter of the circle. Therefore 2.7 multiplied by 16 will give us 43.2. Now 0.2 millimeters is really difficult to draw, so just take the 42 millimeters. So 4.3 centimeters will end up here, right over here, and on the other side 4.3 will end up here. As you can see, you locate this point, that's the intersection of these 2 points, connect the corners, and you'll get the center line for the compass to sit in comfortably. And this is how you draw the second circle. Now, the second circle goes outwards, meanwhile the one goes inside. You will have to connect these manually, like free-handedly, and work this one out to have a gap right over here. It doesn't have to be the full thickness, but it should be more than half the thickness, or just about the half the thickness. Another thing right over here, you will notice that your center line would be this way, and the circle would be going this way. You will have it going inward. It's up to you. You can either leave it this way, or you can connect it straight, instead of having the small curve down here. Once you finish it, you will have this shape. There's a decorative move up here that you can, if you want to, you can add if you want to. That will give us that will give it a shape of a plant, like, but it's an optional thing to do. So to draw that, we're going to take this line, move to 2/3 t, and from the upper part of the bigger circle, we are going to take the full thickness t to locate this line, and then we can draw the decorative move, given that this is a tangent and this is where it will end. It's a free-handedly thing to do, or using the curve tools that we've talked about. So starting from here, we are going to take the full thickness, 16 millimeters, from here we are going to take the 2/3 thickness, which is almost 1 centimeter. By the way, 2/3 equals 0.666. It's not point that's like 3/4. Sorry about that. Now we've got the line where the decorative move will end, and we've got this line right over here. So there you have it. Or if you want to, you can get a transparent paper and copy this sharp edge and paste it right over here to have them both look similar to each other. Now let's outline this and see how it will look like. So this ain comes at the beginning of a word or by itself. Let's continue and see how it will look like when it's by itself. We will add the same move we did for the ha and kha and jim. We've drew this part of it. We are going to go downwards and do the other one. Now the width of the ain, all of it, equals 5t. So 5 by 16 will give us 8 centimeters. Starting from here, we go 8 centimeters, and this will be the end line of the ain. We go downwards half a thickness, which will be 8. We choose this line. We take we go back like we did here. We take the full thickness and we do the small decorative move right over here. So this will give us 16, which is around over here. This is the end part of it. By the way, the drop, as usual, is 1.5t. You drop downwards, starting from here. From here, you'll move the full thickness, which is 16, right over here. And you connect those together, just like the other part. And you go down here. Right here, as we talked during the ha, take the full thickness from this side, 16, and this is where the inner circle will end, and the outer circle is drawn right here. You draw these using a compass. Given that the gap is half the thickness, 8 millimeters, you will have a radius of 4 millimeters to work with, and that's how you locate the center point of the inner circle. So from this line, you go inside 4 millimeters, and you put it in the center line between the upper and lower one, which is also 4 millimeters, just right here. You draw this small circle using the same base point. You draw the other circle, the bigger one. This one. So let's outline this and color it and see how it will look like. So there you have it. It should either be at the beginning of a word where you will continue this part, or by itself, which you will go downwards. Now for the second ain, we are going to talk about ain that comes in the middle. This ain, I would rather not to use it a lot because it does look sometimes like a fa or af. So basically what we are going to do is this. We've got our baseline right over here. We are going to locate the point of the start. We take full thickness T, we take another full thickness T, and we take another full thickness T. Now, the maximum height for the ain we're going to work with is 3.5 T. We will locate this line. Now, the width, as we talked about, is 3T. From the top, right in the center line of this shape, we are going to drop 1.5 T. Locate this point. From these sides, we are going to take fourth the T over 4, right here and here, so that we can draw this shape. When you erase the intersected parts of it, it will look like this. Let's clear it. It will look something like this. So let's start with it using the same baseline. Now what we are going to do is locating the three parts that we've talked about and the maximum height, that's 3.5 the thickness. Divide the three parts, the lower three parts of the rectangular. Now from here to here will be the point where we are going to draw this shape, and this is the outer edges. The inner parts, the height of it is full thickness, the height of it. So you will locate the center line of the rectangular, taking this full thickness, the 1.6, dividing it by 2 will give you 8. This is the 8. Draw the center line of it, and these two will intersect right over here. The other intersection point, you will drop 1.5 the thickness from the top, which is 2.4, right over here, and this is where the outer edges will intersect. The one right over here and the one right over here. Now, right on the top, you can take also the full thickness and locate this point and this point. Given that it's 16, you will take 8 to the right and 8 to the left. If it was 8 millimeters you're working with, we will take 4 by 4, whatever the thickness you are working with. And this is where the curve will change direction and go to the other way around, like this. Now this edge, as we discussed, will be half the thickness to the inside. Will be quarter the thickness, sorry about that. So right here we've got 16 by 4 will equal 4. So we went inside 4 millimeters from the right and from the left, and this is where the curve touch while it moves. And this is what you will get after outlining it. You should use these shapes to get a nice curvy shape to your script, but this is just to show you the outlining. And you can take half of it, copy it to the other half. This is your baseline right over here. Let's color it and see how it will look like. As we said, this comes in the center, connected from the right and from the left. Usually people ask how much distance do I keep between the two letters after each other, following each other. You can leave the full thickness, half a thickness. I would say full thickness, just in order to get rid of any confusion. Now for the third one, it's going to be a geometric one without curves. So we are going to start with the same baseline. This one at the start or at the end, at the center. The next one will be either for the center or at the end of the word. So, starting from here, you take a 60-degree angle to the left. You connect those two. The shape of this one would look like this. You've got your baseline. You're going to take the 60-degree and another 60-degree. You'll have this line and this line. After that, you're going to connect those two together. And finally, you can add a small triangle up there. Now the gap on the inside will be very small. That's just to show you. So using this thickness, you will actually get this shape. It would look like this. So, as we said, you can leave the full thickness or half a thickness. And sometimes I leave full thickness to let's say, to avoid any letters going into each other. But if you left half a thickness, that would be nice too. So we've located the first line. You take the full thickness from that one, which is 16 in our case. You locate it and you draw it. From this point, you take the other half, another 60 degrees to the right. You do the same thing to it. You take the full thickness from down, the full thickness from up. You connect those together, which will naturally intersect with the first point we've located, right over here. Now from here, you're going upwards, the full thickness, T. So starting from this point, we are going to locate the full thickness, which will be around here, and you will connect this to have a small triangle on the inside. From this one, you take another full thickness right to the top, and you will have a straight line that governs the letter. Right now we've got this triangle and a small triangle on the inside. For the decorative move right on the top, after taking the center line for the letter, you go all through the full thickness to the top here, which will give you again the 60 degrees and 60 degrees. You can't take these lines to guide you because it's triangulation, so it works. You have this one and you will have this one, and there you have it. You'll get this shape. And for this one, you can actually add this end to it. You will take this corner, get the line of it, take it all the way back, and this will be the end of the circular motion that we've added here. So this will look like this. As we said, you leave half the thickness, which is 8 millimeters. You leave full thickness from the left, which is 16. End up right over here. And right here you will have the first circle with the center right here. And on the outside you will have the other circle. We'll draw it in a second. From here, once you've located this line and you took it all the way down, this end will be this end, then right here. So we can draw the decorative move that we always added. Let me just locate the bigger circle to show you how it will look like. Now outlining it will give you this shape. There you have it. We've learned 3 shapes: at the beginning, or at the end, at the middle, and at the end. So practice these shapes. Now that you've learned several letters, you can even write more words. For example, Abd, Ubaid, and keep in mind that if it was a Ghain, you can add the point here from the edge, or here, or around this area right here. You can add it in the center. Also here you can add it in the center. So you choose where you want it, to be. I hope this was an informative video, and catch you next time.